to the CT ranks in 2017, fingers crossed. But right now, let's introduce heat number 2 of round 2. Nikki Van Dijk will take on Sage Erickson. Ronnie Blakey here with Rosie Hodge.
And, you know, she's just come off a great result in France. So, you know, you look at this is the opening wave from Sage Erickson. Her performance this morning impressed me so much. So, you know, I'm looking for her to replicate that kind of mojo in this heat. You can see you can tell by a surfer's body language of when they're hungry, when they're backing themselves, and I think Sage has got that in her you know, repertoire at the moment. You can just see that her surfing really suits this kind of wave. Right-hand point breaks just seem to be her forte.
A replay of that first wave. It went a little bit flat for a moment, but Sage did well to get a finish on a tricky, foamy inside section on the CT in 2016. And just look at these lines approaching the takeoff zone. Flawless conditions here in our opening day of competition. And Nikki drives up into the lift, strong first turn. Again, surfing very close to the pocket of the wave. Very critical, but just 2 turns. How do you think it'll fare with the judges, Rosie?
Yeah, interesting. I think it could come somewhere close to what Sage got, that 4.33, or a tad bit higher. You do mention she's surfing close to the breaking section of that wave. Makes it pretty critical, and I love the way that she put that board on rail on that first turn.
Let's see how the Californian responds. She's going to use priority on this one. Drops straight to the bottom. Drives up into the lip. Nice turn, but needs to get going, or this one's going to get away from her, and she gets caught behind. Nikki Van Dijk now, she's going to get an opportunity. She swoops on this one. And just takes it easy through that first turn, wanting to set up the steeper part of this ride. Does it beautifully. It's starting to barrel. She finds some cover. And tries to push through the curtain, but a lot of water going over the falls there. And Nikki wears it to the face. But early on, Sage had a wave where she got multiple turns done. She got a 4.33. Nikki Van Dijk, she took off and got a 7.17 for 2 maneuvers. But this is the 6.16 from Nikki.
Yeah, this was the second wave in the set after Sage Erickson had the first, and Nikki just unfortunately getting clipped in that barrel. I think that would have been a pretty good scoring ride for Nikki had she come out of that, you know, with those couple of maneuvers that she did already. The 6-point ride goes into her scoreline.
The Championship Tour. Dave Shipley is the head judge on the Women's Championship Tour. As we see a decent wave approaching the lineup here. Sage Erickson has that priority. She's going to use it. Let's see if she can get a couple of big turns done and get an excellent score on the board herself. Strong first move. Leaning on the rail. Just transitions through that second maneuver and again gets caught by the closeout as that wave reels off without her. And Nikki Van Dijk looking to increase her lead. She needs to better a 6 with this ride. There's that smooth transition turn that Nikki's able to perform. She doesn't lose any speed. That wave did shut down, so she kicked out. 13 minutes remaining.
The lead at the moment, so with priority, that'll really give it an opportunity to build on that 6 and you know, get back out to the lineup. Sage Erickson, as she paddles into this one, we just watch as she unleashes a few turns in the pocket. We talk about getting critical. She bangs it up there. Just unfortunately, that wave runs away without her. It can be a tricky read, this wave. I mean, there's a lot of sections that kind of pop up out of nowhere and different parts of the reef that it hits, and that was the first wave of the set. Sometimes we mention second, third wave of the set just because the water's been pulled off the reef.
But here at Honolulu Bay, on a day where there's a bit of separation between the sets, priority is such a crucial part of the pro surfing game. As we see, Nikki Van Dijk using her priority on this wave. It's got a good shape to it. She's going to drive off the bottom into the lip. Maintains her down the line flow. Stays out on the open face. And bashes it once again. Gets a little hung up there. And doesn't bother trying to ride out of that turn.
Kind of jump from equipment that you're so used to and get on something longer and kind of draw your surfing out a bit more. But Coco's doing it in such a beautiful fashion. Plenty
of surfers looking for that fresh feel. Sage Erickson, she's looking for a big score. She needs an 8.77 to get into the lead. She did have a perfect score in the excellent range, a near perfect ride earlier on today in the first round, but she never had a backup, and it cost her a heat win. Nikki Van Dijk's last ride because it helped her increase her lead over Sage. Beautiful looking wall.
This is Nikki Van Dijk taking off with priority. She wraps that turnaround, eyes off this section, floats it up, comes around this section, sets her up for this turn. Unfortunately got a little bit hung up there. That's that section we've been talking about that's been detrimental to the girls. Unfortunately not riding out of that turn, but still increases her situation.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? We'll talk more about that in a moment, but right now let's check out the recap of Nikki Van Dijk getting a lead over Sage Erickson.
Opening wave for Nikki Van Dijk, dropping that 7.17 on her first wave. Just smooth, stylish surfing from the young Victorian. Able to smash it into the lip and keep things critical. Working that board back and forth and snaps it up again. Unfortunately goes down on this maneuver.
And this is Sage. She's put a couple of decent turns together, but her wave selection's just crushing her hopes of getting through this heat at the moment. She's had a couple of, a number of rides shut down on her. Nikki's just managed to get herself into those waves that offer up a little bit more potential. They've had steeper wall. Consistently is performing in her heats with the jersey on. And Sage, well, she's had some great showings, especially in these last couple of events, but really just needs to be able to put those solid performances together more regularly. Here we go. This is Nikki up once again, looking to drop a 6.33 with this one. Nice turn there and gets a clean finish.
That was smart surfing from Nikki Van Dijk. She had priority on that one. Sage Erickson looked like she really wanted to give it a dig. Stephanie Gilmore get her first world title was amazing as we watch. Nikki Van Dijk dropping in with priority. Really using that rail so well, carrying her speed throughout this wave. Finding that rhythm and flow that's got her the big scores in this heat. Cracks it up into the lip, so great finish there on that one, and obviously Sage would be disappointed that she didn't get that wave in her scoreline.
Is she out of position for this one? It's starting to stand up. Well, she's going to swing. She's in the perfect spot for it. She needs to surf this wave to near perfection. She drives up into the first section. Bit of a transition turn, really. Let's see if she can put it on rail here. Turning under the lip, just trying to stay in front of this wave. There's a nice blast, and the wave is going to shut down on the Keiki Bowl. And 20 seconds to go now. As Nikki again looks to extend her lead. A lot of foam on the face of this wave, making it tricky to ride. But the young Victorian doing well as she brings it through to the inside. The heat coming to a close, she kicks out. And we are waiting on scores to drop for Sage Erickson. Well, I think Sage had pretty big expectations of herself in this final event, just based off her current form. She has been in career best touch, I think, coming into this heat. The judges having a look at the replay here. Rosie, what do you think?
Oh man, this is such a beautiful wave for Sage. Definitely had a lot of opportunity on it. Just, you know, you talk about the flow and the rhythm. That last turn was beautiful, and then, you know, she goes up on that an 8.5. I mean, that's a pretty big score from Sage. I think you mentioned just her surfing and the form that she's in, and she's also been one of the standouts in the free surfs. It would be a tough loss to take if she doesn't get that score.
On that last maneuver, it might just cost her the win. A 6.53, and she falls short. And it's Nikki Van Dijk that's going to be continuing her great role in 2015. She'll be moving through to round 3.